Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Scar. Today is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing star 6. It is very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. We'll start with the Board of Commissioners roll call. Commissioner Bell.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. And Commissioner Yamamoto.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, this morning, Adventist Health Tillamook is not available to be with us, but it looks like they will be back next week, so we will look forward to that. But we have an amazing and wonderful treat. Our Coastal Caucus is out of session in Salem and back with us today, so I am super excited to invite Senator Weber to share with us all about the session and what were the wins for Tillamook County.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here. Good morning, everyone. We had a lot of wins. Out of 2,900 bills, the highest in 10 years. I don't exactly know the number that was passed, but there were some important bills that really are impacting Tillamook County. Specifically the broadband bill, the housing bill. They're going to be integral to our continued growth and well-being. And I was able to go to the Willett apartment and heard Commissioner Scar speak so eloquently on the process of getting that into our community. And I see that one of the units is now being occupied, so things are starting to move over there. Very nice, very well appointed apartments. Apartments are small nowadays, but people shouldn't need a lot of room, but they're very well done. I also wanted to point out that as we go along, our Working Lands and Waters groups are meeting today, one today in Tillamook and one today in Clatsop County. And those are some groups that are very important, especially to our farming, our fishing, and our forest people, because it is an ability for all of them to get together and work together on issues that are really pertinent to Tillamook County. And I really appreciate all that they do. So that's happening today. I'm looking forward to meeting with Commissioner Yamamoto to see just exactly how this broadband bill is all going to play out for us, because I think that we have some serious wins that are going to be coming from this. Also, today I'm going to be meeting in Columbia County at OMIC with all of their elected officials to talk about the session and see what they have in their plans for the future. I think it is a great opportunity to be able to connect with everyone who has, an elected position there. Last week I was also in Clascanine to talk with the Next Gen people who are the renewable diesel people who are going to be taking and making diesel from products and waste products that we have right here in our area. They are hoping to begin construction right after the first of the year. They have a few more permits to get, but that will be another job opportunity for our district that we will really be able to reap the benefits of. One of the things that we did get money for was here in town was the Shiloh levy. We've been talking about the Shiloh levy and everything that it impacts in that low area, and the fact that we will have enough money to be able to work on that, I think it's huge for Tillamook County. And then Bay City, they needed some water isolation valves, and that we weren't able to get all of what they needed to be able to continue because they, of course, service the creamery with water, and water is an important resource for making cheese, just like it is for making beer. There was a lot of legislation that was passed around water rights, and I will go into that more later, so that you can see how the legislation is going to be impacting our area, especially. And I want to congratulate David McCall. He'll be the new city manager in Bay City, and he is someone who is very knowledgeable, being the mayor, of all that is happening there, and I'm looking forward to working with him. I have committees that I'm going to be working on this summer on education with Senator Dembro and Senator Frederick. And I'm also going to be hosting a series of community meetings where I go and instead of having a town hall, I have appointments with people in district to be able to talk about proposed legislation, problems they have. And so if you go to my website, you can see where I'm going to be, and you can make an appointment to talk to me. I just find that sometimes the one-on-one communication is much more friendly, and I think that we can get a lot more problems solved if we are talking one-on-one rather than in a whole group. Not to say that whole group conversations aren't good, because they are also very valuable, but when people have concerns, it's nice to be able to address their concerns. And so I'll be in all the municipalities within Senate District 16. I know I've got about 14 other things that I could talk to you about this morning, but I think I'm going to tell you that I am really looking forward to the next 3 years of my elected position, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your communication. Sometimes I'm not able to just respond immediately, but I have a great staff who is working on that. And I wanted to tell you that I will not have the frequency with my newsletters that I had during the session, but I will continue that as soon as we are in session again. So it will be less frequent. But we will also be doing our recordings from the district to talk about issues and bills that are coming before you in a more concise way, a more open way, that you can also get in touch with me online and listen to some of those things. So it's nice to be back. I want to thank you for the opportunity to talk, and I know that Representative Gomberg, representing the Coastal Caucus, has been able to be here far more often than myself, and so I appreciate his being able to add to the conversation. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate you. We appreciate your work on behalf of Tillamook County, and I will take the opportunity to thank you again for your support and your sponsoring of Senate Bill 406 and shepherding it all the way through the process. We look forward to the land use changes that will make possible for our small cities and communities to get more duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, cottage clusters, those types of houses going in our communities. So thank you so much for all that you've done for our county.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may?
Absolutely, please.
Thank you. And Senator, I want to thank you for everything that you did during this session. You mentioned broadband. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with you. There are so many things happening right now at the federal level, and which affects the state level. But I want to talk about broadband because it was twice. And getting HB 3201 through session was very difficult. We had our ups and downs. And I just want to let everyone know, twice I asked you personally if you could come and testify before the committee that was working on our broadband bill, HB 3201, and both times you were there, and I was so appreciative of that because we were having some problems with 3201, and without 3201, we just got notification from the feds that Oregon is now eligible for $689 million for broadband. And we would not be eligible for that money had not HB 3201 passed. So again, I just want to thank you so much for your work. And when I reached out to you, you were just right there, and I appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Madam
any other?
Chair, if I may?
Yeah, yes, please. I was going to ask if there are any more questions or comments. So please, Commissioner.
Yes, I just wanted to jump on the bandwagon for thanking Senator Weber for your work, for all of your representation of Tillamook County, but in particular, I want to thank you for your work in helping fund the repair of the Shiloh levee, which just couldn't be more important to our community and for its safety, for businesses, for people, for everyone. And it's, you know, we'd been struggling to find funding for that, and you were really just a lifesaver for our community. I want everyone to know that credit goes to you, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments for the Senator? Okay, I'm going to give a shout out to Representative Javity. I do not see his phone number here, but sometimes people are on a different phone line, and so I don't want to run over the top of him if he's here. Okay, not hearing from him. I will again thank the Coastal Caucus for joining us, and we will move on to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Ed Colson.
Yes, good morning, Tillamook County. Good morning, Commissioners. For the Health Department, we are excited to announce that starting Monday, July 24th, our mobile clinic is going to be stationed in Nehalem at the bottom gravel parking lot on the corner of Highway 101 and 7th Street. It's going to provide dental services to our North County residents. The mobile clinic will be stationed in Nehalem the 2nd and 4th Monday of every month, and the schedule is open now. So please call our dental staff at 503-842-2356 for more information or to help book your appointment in North County. Now, this past week, some exciting news. The Chamber of Commerce let us know that our mobile clinic won first place in this year's June Dairy Day Parade for the First Responders Group. We are extremely grateful for the award and recognition. We had a blast handing out goodies and waving to all of our Tillamook residents during the parade. This Thursday, July 27th, we will be partnering with the quarterly Community Safety Conversations to bring you the Nachos and Narcan event. This event will be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. in rooms 214 and 215 at Tillamook Bay Community College. This event will highlight the Fentanyl Aware Northwest campaign we have been running all summer. Our harm reduction staff, alongside the Prime Men peers, will be giving an overdose prevention training, and that's going to cover local overdose data and trends, how to identify and respond to an overdose, and naloxone safety and training. This training is open to the public of all ages and is free. Now, there's going to be a food truck there, and it's going to provide free nachos and a drink to the first 100 folks that arrive and check in with staff. So for more information or questions about the event, please call 503-842-3934. And lastly, flu and COVID-19 vaccines remain available by appointment at many healthcare facilities and pharmacies in Tillamook County, including at our main health center location. As a reminder, the health department will be offering COVID vaccines by appointment on Tuesdays and Thursday only. If you do have questions on if you're eligible for another booster or not, please either contact your primary care provider or you can call public health and our nurse will help guide you. For resources and support in finding a vaccine, you can call the health department at 503-842-3940 or call 211. And at-home COVID test kits still remain available at all county library branches, as well as at our main clinic off of 9th Street. And that's our health department update. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Okay. Any questions for Ed before we move on? I'm excited about the nachos and Narcan. The best thing we can do in the current epidemic is to make sure that Narcan is readily available everywhere. This is a life-saving intervention, and we want to make sure that it's in the community. So I took the overdose prevention training when it was offered here at the courthouse. It's a very simple training. Administering Narcan is not a difficult thing. It's really good for all of us to know, and the overdose statistics update is something that I will look forward to. So thank you so much for that. Okay, moving on to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
One announcement for us this morning here at the Nehalem Bay Health Center. In collaboration with North County Recreation District, we're offering an upcoming fitness class instructed entirely in Spanish. This is our first partnership along these lines, and we're pleased to have several members of our community signed up for a Zumba class in Spanish, and that starts this week. And that's my announcement. Of course, we're always here to serve you if you're interested in scheduling an appointment with one of our medical providers, including behavioral health providers who are now back on site here at the clinic. Please give us a call, 800-368-5182 for more information. So thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Okay, moving on. Tillamook Family Counseling Center. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, everyone. Frank Hanna Williams, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, Behavioral Health Services for Tillamook County residents. Not a lot of specific information this morning, just to say that concerns related to appointments, information about any programs that we are providing, you can call us at 503-842-8201. We have been just looking over some information recently. We seem to be going through a period of a little bit of increase in the number of QPR presentations and trainings that we are doing. Have just fairly recently worked to do some training with Tillamook Bay Community College staff. Again, this is a question, persuade, refer, and it's in about an hour and a half of some discussion and interaction. Leaves you with some strategies that you may be able to engage in to support a person who may be having some concerns about self-harm. And actually, we are hoping to be able to interact with a number of workplaces. And if you or the people that you work with are interested in having someone come in and do this at your workplace, we are more than happy to be able to do this. It's free of charge. And again, you can find out about the QPR trainings at 503-842-8201. And it would appear as though we are coming close to having, over the last year and a half, coming close to having trained 300 Tillamook County residents. And our hope is that number spreads more. If some of those 300 talk to other people in the community about what it is that they've learned about that, then we're moving in the right direction. So, again, any questions about that, anything else that we are doing, or concerns about appointments or information, 503-842-8201. And if there are any questions, I'll take them now.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. Any questions for Frank? Okay, not hearing any. I just thank you for having that QPR training available. When we look at statistics for Tillamook County consistently, self-harm and death by suicide are high numbers for us, and this is a significant issue for our community. And the more people who receive the training and feel confident in asking the questions when they hear those phrases from people, just the more we can support our community members. So I encourage everyone to take advantage of this training. Okay, moving on to the Sheriff's Office. Do we have Sheriff Brown with us this morning?
Good morning, I am here.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Well, where to begin? I think I'd like to go over, because we missed last week's community update, just some stats from the 4th of July weekend. I compared it to the year prior, but the year prior was just a 4-day weekend because 4th of July was on an actual Monday. This year it was on a Tuesday, so it was a little bit of an extra long weekend. But what I did notice is that although there was a slight increase from last year's stats on a daily combined total basis, they're fairly consistent with the numbers. As I said, a slight increase. We still averaged almost 100 calls for service per day. So that's quite a workload for our deputies to handle in the course of a day. To average 100 calls per day consistently for 4 to 5 day stretch is pretty daunting. One stat that I would like to point out is the number of traffic stops that we had. We were able to offer overtime through a grant, a traffic safety grant from ODOT that allows us to have deputies out patrolling, working traffic with funds from this grant. And we had quite a few deputies this year sign up, more so than we've had in quite a number of years. So we had great coverage across the county. Our traffic stop numbers almost tripled, about 2.5 times what they were the previous year. And what's nice, or what's good information to pass along to people, is that traffic stops do not directly correlate to traffic citations. In fact, I would assume that, and I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I would assume actually that most of our traffic stops result in warnings as opposed to traffic citations. Ultimately, traffic enforcement, the ultimate goal of it is to gain compliance. And so education, warnings, or a citation are the 3 ways that you gain compliance. And as I said, I would venture a guess that the majority of our traffic stops are warnings. The other plus to that is that it's what we call proactive policing. It gets us out there. We proactively try to prevent traffic crashes. We try to prevent, speeding or reckless driving by just simply having a presence and being able to conduct traffic stops all over the county. That presence helps keep people slow. It helps get them to, maybe reduce road rage, or get them to take a deep breath and just understand to slow down. So that proactive policing is an excellent way to prevent a lot of issues, and I believe we had pretty good success over the course of the 4th of July weekend. And as I said, we had quite a number of traffic stops. So those are good numbers in the proactive policing department. So if anybody follows our Facebook page, you'll know that this last weekend we had a very, very active weekend. First, we had a number of water rescues over the course of the weekend that we were either a part of or that got paged out throughout within our county. One of them I know resulted in the Coast Guard having to send a rescue swimmer into the water to rescue a person down in Nesquin area. I believe that person is okay. Additionally, and again, this was on our Facebook page in a news release, there was another tragic boating accident at the mouth of the Nestucca, where a juvenile is presumed deceased as a result of that. And as I said, there were a number of others, but those were the 2 highlight ones. So it just, we talk about water safety all the time, and this is just a tragic reminder that we need to maintain that. Additionally, we had a homicide this weekend. I believe it was Saturday morning, and that would be our 4th homicide in less than 3 years that we've had to investigate. This does not include the officer-involved shooting that we had down in South County. It also does not include the murder-suicide that we had in Hebo. So we're getting more and more of these type of very violent situations, but we are working through it the best we can. I can't really talk about or release any more information beyond what was released on our Facebook post, our social media post, but it did happen, and we are actively investigating that right now. So that is all that I have to share today. I know that I do want to say thank you to the communities of Cloverdale and Rockaway, Pacific City for this upcoming weekend, for the invites and allowing us to be in the parades. In a few weeks, I think a couple weeks, we'll be doing the Garibaldi Parade as well. I actually very much enjoy parade season, getting to see people and letting them see the sheriff's office that works for them. So thank you to those communities, and we're looking forward to the couple more that we have. So other than that, I can take questions, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any questions for the Sheriff? Okay, not hearing any. Thank you so much for the work you all are doing out there. My husband drives the PC shuttle on the weekend sometimes, and he said you guys were very active down there this weekend. He kept making the loop, and he said every time he made the loop, you all were educating and informing someone. So appreciate the proactive policing. So,
yep,
all right.
It's a big thing to do, so you bet.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on to emergency management. Randy.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Well, what we've got going this week of importance is that the Tillamook County Citizen Corps Council, the famous TC4 group, is beginning in the beginning stages of developing a county-wide community evacuation drill for this fall. They're going to be meeting this Thursday to start laying the groundwork and setting that up. What they're trying to accomplish is to have an evacuation drill to see if people know their evacuation routes, where their assembly points are, how to get there, what to do once you get there. So it should be a pretty insightful and great drill this fall. I'm not sure the exact time frame of when that'll be. That's, like I say, this committee was formed during their last meeting, and they'll be making those types of decisions. They're toying with the idea of connecting it with the worldwide shakeout in October. So we'll just keep the community up to date on that, and hopefully this will be a great event to get people more aware of their evacuation routes. You know, they see the signs all over and things like that, and this will be really nice to know if people really know where those routes are and, like I say, where those assembly points are. So other than that, enjoy good weather, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and be careful with fire, as Smokey says. So these dry weathers is not good for the wildfire season. So just be careful when you're out recreating. And that's all I've got for today.
Okay, thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. I do see that we have a visitor from the Office of Emergency Management with us today on my online list. It looks like Garrett Reeves is with us. Was that part of your doing, Randy? I hate to call somebody out, but wondering if there's a reason that you joined us this morning, Garrett, if there's anything you would like to share with us.
Hi, good morning, Commissioner. Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Garrett Reeves. I'm a Regional Mitigation and Recovery Coordinator for the Oregon Department of Emergency Management. The territory I cover is Clatsop, Tillamook, Lincoln, and Yamhill County, as well as the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians. So I call in weekly just to keep my ear to the ground with respect to the Tillamook community, and I find this meeting very informative and very helpful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate having you with us.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. We will go to the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Bell, would you like to kick us off?
Good morning. Thank you. I would. Well, first, I'd just like to shout out to the Sheriff's Office for their excellent work all the time, but in particular in these very stressful times. You know, the law enforcement is very stressful work. First responders as well. It's very stressful work, and as I heard about the things that were happening over the weekend, water accidents and children lost in the water and a murder, etc. I feel for the people who are working on those cases, because it's very stressful, and we're lucky to have such an excellent Sheriff's Office staff protecting us and doing that work. So my thanks to them, and my heart goes out to them. You know, I think about the stress that that they carry home with them after working on a case like that, and it must be tremendous. So my thanks to them for their service. And I also wanted to talk about last week we had a short-term rental hearing at the third hearing on the short-term rental ordinance, and talked about the things that we would like that we propose amending in that hearing, and we will discuss that further in our board meeting this Wednesday and perhaps consider it. And so I just want to thank the short-term rental committee that's been working on this process, and Sarah Absher, Director of Community Development, who've been working on this process for a year and a half or more, and all of the citizen involvement. We've had literally thousands of public comments, and we've had 3 hearings that were packed with people, and we've talked about this before, that we can't make everybody happy in this process, but we're trying to find the balance between what's in the best interest of people who live here full-time, what's in the best interest of Tillamook County citizens who live here and are experiencing distress in their communities, what's in the best interest of our economy, what's in the best interest of our businesses that are supported by tourism dollars, what's in the best interest of our TLT revenue, which is used to support the roads department. We're weighing all of those things and trying to find a middle ground and set a roadmap for slow growth, for slow, sustainable, responsible growth. So thanks so much to everyone who's been involved in this process. If you're on either side, on both sides, all of your work is very valuable and very much appreciated. And I wanted to tell you something fun. Some of you probably remember that Jane Scott and Van Moe used to do an interview show called Let's Talk, and Jane Scott Video Productions. Jane would videotape the interview, and Van Moe, who lots of you probably know and remember, Van and his wife Joyce moved to California, but Van did the interview, and they interviewed all kinds of people. They interviewed just interesting people in the community, and you can still find Van's interviews on Jane Scott's website at tctvonline.com. The last interview that he did was with then Senator Betsy Johnson, and in fact I think Betsy Johnson was his first interview and his last interview. But Van moved, and people miss those interviews, so Jane has been wanting to get them started again, and we're going to do the first one today. The first interview is going to be with Don Algier, our library director, who just passed his 1-year anniversary with the library, and Jane invited me to interview him since I'll know what to ask him, and so we're going to do that today. So today's the inaugural rebirth of Let's Talk on TCTV Online. So I will let you know again when that interview is up and online and ready to view. And Don is a very interesting person, and things are going really well at the library, and I look forward to talking to him about it today. So I think I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Any questions for Commissioner? Okay, hearing none. Commissioner Yamamoto.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate it very much. Things are busy, and I really do have some good news, especially on 4 big items that I've been working on. I can't say that we've resolved anything moving forward, but things are moving in the right direction, finally, on a lot of these issues. So I just want to touch on them briefly. The first, you've heard me talk ad nauseum about the No Fisheries FEMA BIOP. I am going to Austin next week, Austin, Texas, and presenting to NACO. In the past 3 years, I have presented our NACO BIOP resolution to NACO and got it passed unanimously 3 times. And it came to light this year that I was told that, Dave, there's really no reason for you to continue to come back. Why don't, especially since it's passed 3 times, all 3 times unanimously in steering committees. So I was asked if I could present it as a platform item for NACO. which elevates the importance of the Snow Fisheries FEMA BIOP issue, and so that's what I'm going to be doing at NACO. So wish me luck there. One other item with the BIOP, after years and years and years of talking to NOAA Fisheries and FEMA, we have been granted cooperating agency status. So now we are actually going to be at the table with FEMA as they continue to move forward with the rollout of the Oregon BIOP. So, and again, we're not going to have a hammer that we can say, no, FEMA, you can't do this. But having us at the table as they make their decisions gives us a lot more input as to what FEMA is doing with this NOAA Fisheries FEMA BIOP. And again, this has the potential to be absolutely devastating to many counties in Oregon. It affects 31 out of the 36 counties in Oregon, none worse than Tillamook County. So that's good news. We'll see what happens. We're going to continue to push. The Department of Forestry, I've got some good news there also. We have heard from the governor's office, and I can't go into any detail. We have yet to have our real first sit-down meeting to discuss exactly the issues that they want to help us to resolve. But I think this is a terrific step forward with the governor's office now stating that they want to find a solution for what's going on with the trust counties. So this is going to be great. Again, we'll see where this goes, and I'm sorry that I can't give you more detail right now, but that detail is yet to be worked out exactly what we're going to be talking about. So some good news with state forest lands. Broadband, as Senator Weber brought up, this is really moving forward now. HB 3201 was a problem child. We had our ups and downs with that, but we did get it passed. And so immediately when it was passed, I don't think it was because we passed 3201, but just about the same time, the federal government released the amount of money that the states are eligible for. And the first tranche of money that we're going to be getting from the federal government is $689 million for the state of Oregon to help develop broadband in Tillamook County. That's a great win, and we're continuing to move forward there. One other bit of news from the last Tillamook Lightwave meeting a couple weeks ago, Astound, our contractor, brought up the fact that I've been trying to find a way for when this Amazon cable goes over Highway 6, and they're currently building that cable as we speak. It's a dangerous highway, 35-mile stretch of highway there that really has no cell phone service, lots of accidents. People have to drive one way or another in order to call emergency services. Currently, we are under contract, not we, Amazon and Astound are under contract with at least one cell phone provider for 7 cell phone sites up and across Highway 6. That's just terrific news, and we appreciate that so much. The partnership we have with Astound and with Amazon on this particular cable is just outstanding. One other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be dropping a pair of fiber optic lines at the very top of Highway 6. We've asked ODOT if they would be interested in cameras at the top of Highway 6. The highest cameras we have, I believe, are, I can't remember the name of that area now. But it's fairly low, and what's happening there is definitely not what's happening in the winter months at the top of Highway 6. One issue we have there is power, electrical power. But we're working with a few different agencies, TPUD as one of them, to see. So we'll have the fiber optic lines up there. We just need to figure out how to power them and get a couple of cameras at the top of Highway 6. And I was thinking of Lee's Camp, of course, at the lower end. So that's great news. And we continue to work very, very diligently on broadband for Tillamook County. The last one I want to discuss is BALM, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. We have been objecting strenuously to the rapidity with which BOEM is working on offshore wind off of Coos and Curry County. All of the fishing grounds are going to take up, etc. We have finally made our federal delegation sit up and take notice. So we have Senator Wyden, Senator Merkley, and Congresswoman Bonamici all having conversations with BOEM about how they really need to slow this process down and really take into consideration the issues that coastal residents have with what's going on here. There are many, many issues, and I won't go into them all here. But again, I think BOEM is taking some notice of the people that are starting to say, wait a minute, we need to figure out exactly how this is going to affect our coastal communities in the state of Oregon. So with that, I will turn it back over to Chair Scar, and I want to thank everyone in Tillamook County for listening.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any questions for Commissioner Yamamoto? I would make one quick clarification. I think he said that we were going to get $689 million for broadband in Tillamook County. Just to clarify, that's a statewide number, and we will be doing everything we can to ensure we get our bite of the apple.
I apologize for that. I think it's wishful thinking, but yeah, that is statewide. Thank you for that
Yes,
correction.
I know, Commissioner, that you hope we will be able to use a huge chunk of that here, but just for clarity's sake. Okay. See, I am listening when you're talking. All right, so I will cover a couple of things this morning. I was excited to get back from my vacation at the end of June in time to attend and speak at the opening of the Willett Apartments, which Senator Weber referenced earlier. It is 46 units of housing right over here behind Umpqua Bank. It is affordable housing. It has 5 units specifically in partnership with Tillamook Family Counseling and 5 units specifically in partnership with CARE to make sure that we can move folks from, in CARE's case, from those experiencing homelessness into housing, which is something that I think is on a lot of our minds as we look out into our community and see the increasing numbers of those experiencing homelessness. So was excited to be at that opening. The developer of the Willett Apartments, Greenlight Development, continues to look for additional sites across Tillamook County to develop more affordable housing. We know that we need it. They have a model that works. They actually built this project. It came in under budget. It was completed early, and it's beautiful. So we have a chance to visit one of those apartments, check it out. They have quartz countertops. They have beautiful laminate flooring. They really have built these to a standard that you'd expect in market rate housing. There's nothing that looks affordable about them, which is just a fabulous way to show respect for our community. So excited about this developer and hopeful that they will find some more locations where we can get some more housing built. I talked briefly about Senate Bill 406 also. That is a Senate bill that will be requiring essentially our small cities and the county itself and our incorporated communities to update our zoning code to allow duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes in some of our residential areas. So there will be some changes coming in the next couple of years. But one of the pieces about this that's really exciting is this is a partnership between the county and our incorporated cities. We visited every incorporated city, got their agreement and buy-in to be part of this process to really encourage some density into our cities that we think will be density that our residents would prefer to see. We will still work toward apartment buildings, but in addition to that, really working toward duplexes, triplexes, things that really fit the character of many of our cities. So the county is excited to be a strong partner in that. We had our Housing Commission meeting this past Thursday and worked on another piece of that work, which is also required in Senate Bill 406 over the next about 4 years, is what they call housing production strategies. So we have to take a look at our zoning codes, take a look at our service delivery charges, take a look at all of our policies as they relate to housing development, and we have to see if there are barriers we can remove to building housing of all types. So this includes the workforce housing that everyone is hoping for, and the the duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, those are very well positioned for workforce housing. So the Housing Commission will be working on creating the housing production strategies that the state will require the cities and communities and unincorporated areas to implement. So I know that it often looks like there's just not much happening on the housing front. And so I share what I am sharing this morning to let you know that there's a lot of work going on in the background to really prepare our communities to get started building the housing that we need and utilizing state funding to help us do that through opportunities like Senate Bill 406. So that is coming. Keep your eyes peeled. It's going to take us, again, probably many months to put this into place. But this is how housing gets built, is one step at a time by really updating and changing things like zoning codes and policies. So it's happening. The other thing I want to talk about is additional funding for those experiencing homelessness. We've been talking over the last year about the House Bill 4123 money, which was the $1 million. The strategic plan utilizing that funding has been completed into a final draft form. The commissioners will be considering that draft for approval. We will then be taking that out to the community on a roadshow, where we will be talking with everyone about what did the stakeholders in this process determine were our most important strategies, and to begin to implement those. So more to come, but the strategic plan has been created. It has been submitted to the state as required under that funding, which now allows us to get to work with implementing. So very excited about that. The other thing that having the House Bill 4123 money did for us was it supported us creating a local planning group, or what we have called our intergovernmental advisory board and our community advisory board. And now we're combining those into a local planning group. And that local planning group was a required piece of getting some of the emergency money that the governor put out. I'm sure any of you who are regular listeners will remember the conversations we had on this call after the governor's emergency orders came out right at the beginning of January, and the rural counties were excluded from the funding for those experiencing homelessness. And the governor went back and allocated $26.1 million specifically for the rural counties. So we are very fortunate, because we had a planning group already stood up. We were able to say Tillamook County will stand on its own and we'll take, our slice of this money and implement it in our own community without having to use a regional body and then do all of the work to try to get our piece of it. We are able to utilize the infrastructure we have built under House Bill 4123 to receive money directly into Tillamook County. So we're very excited about that. There will be just over $500,000 coming to Tillamook County specifically for outreach to those who are experiencing homelessness and assistance to get them housed. So the affordable housing we're building is extremely important to having that full continuum of services and our ability to move people from homelessness to housing. So we're super excited about that. In addition, there's the opportunity to apply for funding to add shelter beds in Tillamook County, and that will be a part of an application that's forthcoming. Again, we're able to apply directly because we have the House Bill 4123 funding. So it's important to be ready. It's important to have capacity. It's important, if Tillamook County is going to be able to always get our slice of the pie from the state, we have to have our infrastructure in place. So I'm very excited that the work we've been doing over the last year on all of that has positioned us well to receive the funding. So more to come on that as we move forward. I think I will leave it there. I know this meeting's running long and we still get to hear from our cities. So I will move us right along to Manzanita. Do we have Mayor Deb Simmons this morning?
Yes, I'm here, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Can you?
Yes, I can.
Okay. First, I want to thank you for all of your work on affordable housing and workforce housing. It's a high priority in Manzanita, and I know it's a slow process, but it was great to hear the updates on that. So thank you. In Manzanita, we are in the process of hiring a code enforcement officer, and we have also filled the part-time public works position. So those have been long searches, and we're glad to have made progress there. I want to reach out again with thanks to the organizers of the 4th of July parade, which was a great day. Also to the CERT volunteers, Carolyn Greenwood of TCVA, and also the city staff for their contributions. People are still talking about that parade, and it was made possible by the behind-the-scenes efforts of many, many volunteers. It was just a perfect day. We have a council work session on Wednesday, July 13th at 2 o'clock. That is through Zoom. Also, municipal court scheduled for Friday, July 14th is canceled. There's a planning commission meeting on July 17th at 4 o'clock, and that is Zoom. And last, Mayor's Monday on July 17th will be at the library at 10:30. These are casual chats with no agenda. Thank you and have a great week.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate the updates.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to Rockaway Beach. Mayor Charles McNeely.
Hello, this is Charles McNeely from Rockaway Beach. Can you hear me?
There you are. Yes, we can. Thank you.
Unmuting took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Apologies for that.
No worries.
I have lots to share, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to focus on a shout out to our Rockaway Beach Fire and Rescue. As many of you may know, approximately 2:20 p.m. on June 27th, Tillamook County Sheriff's Officer Sean Allers responded to South Juniper Street in Rockaway Beach for a reported missing 9-year-old female. The female was autistic and nonverbal. The Rockaway Beach Fire Rescue dispatched quickly to begin the search. They deployed 3 apparatus and 9 personnel. The young female actually was well hidden in thick brush. People walked by her and didn't see her, but our drone operator, using a drone with infrared camera on it, was able to find her signature, her heat signature, and the young child was found and reunited with her mother. So a very happy ending, and just a great appreciation for our folks in the Rockaway Beach Fire Rescue Department. We also had a great 4th of July festivities. I won't go into detail because of the time, but I do also want to mention we have a council workshop and council meetings on Wednesday starting at 4:30. Packed agendas. If you're interested, go out to the city website and you can pull down the meeting materials, watch virtually or attend in person. And with that, I'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the updates. Okay, moving on to Garibaldi. Mayor Tim Hall.
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can.
Yes, I'll be short as well. The Garibaldi City Council is working to get the city through a financial crisis that has been years in the making. You may have read about it in the newspaper. We will be reaching out to the governor for emergency funding to help us get through with temporary contract services. Garibaldi is not eligible for grants or loans at this time as we work to get our audits completed. We do appreciate the efforts of the county commissioners to try to consider some help for Garibaldi temporary, and we very much appreciate. So a shout out to the county commissioners for at least considering help for us. The city of Garibaldi's offices are closed except by appointment. However, I've received word from our city attorney that the members of the city council can actually reopen the doors to City Hall and actually do some temporary administrative services, such as answering the phone and making copies and mail. If you need to make any citizen or resident that needs to make an appointment, they can call 503-322-3327, and we'll do everything that we can to help our citizens through this process until we can get back on our financial feet. That's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the update. Okay, moving on to Bay City. Do we have new city manager David McCall? Okay. Not hearing anyone, we'll keep going. City of Tillamook. City Manager Nathan George.
Good morning, Commissioner. Can you hear me?
Good morning, I can.
Good, thank you. I'm sorry about that. The delay is always a little rough.
No worries.
Thank you very much. Yes, this week we have street crews. In our Public Works Department, we have our street crews are performing routine maintenance, such as watering our flower baskets, repairing potholes, street sweeping, and maintaining parks. And I do ask if anybody has a concern about a park or a pothole or anything else to do with our streets or parks, please email publicworks@tillamookor.gov, or you can call and we'll get you that email address. I have citizens come up to me sometimes, and I appreciate their comments, and I always try to refer them back to the email address too, and that way we can get those logged in and taken care of. Our water crews are reading water meters this week. They're also making a repair on the water service and installing a new service. As always, please be mindful of employees and equipment. There will be a road closure tomorrow, July 12th, on 11th Street from Pacific Avenue to Lower Avenue from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a road repair. Access to the Tillamook Tire and the Tillamook People's Utility District will remain open. Our Public Works Department is still hiring seasonal and full-time technicians. These positions operate from Monday through Thursday, 6:30 to 5, and offer excellent benefits. We ask you to please visit our website or visit City Hall or call our HR department for an application. And a fun fact, did you know stoplights were invented by police officers who were tired of getting run over? Before there were traffic lights, police officers had to direct traffic by hand, which could be a dangerous job. According to the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, it was a traffic cop who had the idea of using lights instead of hand signals or flags. Officer Lester F. Wire didn't feel safe when he was directing cars, trucks, buggies, and trolleys at a busy intersection in downtown Salt Lake City in 1912. So he built a birdhouse made of plywood, painted it yellow, and punched 6 holes on either side. He then dipped bulbs in red and green paint and used a manual switch to change the lights from red to green. That's where it all started. In the Tillamook Police Department, our Tillamook Police Department assisted the Tillamook County Sheriff's Office in a major crime investigation this past week. This investigation is ongoing and will require further assistance. While these events can be tragic, it is good we have strong partnership within our public safety community. Also want to give a shout out to our Public Works Department that also assists with providing lights, at least at one of those events, as it was during the night. Our training manager, Sergeant Harold, successfully rolled out Police One training platform. Sergeant Harold is also assigned 3 hours of training for diversity, equity, inclusion. This is a new state requirement to maintain your police certification in Oregon. By utilizing this platform for training, we are saving thousands of dollars in overtime. So the reason that we have to mention these things are, number one, so that our public knows that our police officers are well trained and able to respond. And number two, we want to show the public that we do a lot of things to save taxpayer money by having in-house training and also by having the proper training for officers, which mitigates issues and helps save lives. In addition to the training module, there is an inventory module Sergeant Hollis, our other sergeant, has been working on feverishly to get all of our equipment logged, assigned, and tracked in the system. Again, this system will ensure accuracy in knowing where all of our equipment is and who it is assigned to the click of a button. And on that regard, I want to mention that as a city manager, we are working on this process in our entire city, getting all of our documents in good shape and into a document management system, cleaning up all the old junk. And in fact, the Public Works Department has gone through and we've cleaned up most of our junk, but we have a lot more to go. And we've been selling it on public surplus and made over $50,000 now on just selling junk. What I consider junk, I always say the people who bought it didn't. But we're really excited about the changes that we're making and how we're moving forward to be more organized and able to more effectively respond and serve our public and efficiently. We want to thank our former city planner, Tommy O'Donnell, who put in his 2 weeks notice a few weeks ago. We didn't have a phone call, so I couldn't update. But I hired Tommy over 2 years ago, and he came into our city along with our planning technician, Megan Carpenter, created and built an amazing planning department that did not exist when I first arrived. We did not have a planning department. Tommy also put many great processes, plans, and procedures in place and did a fantastic job for the city and our residents. We thank him and wish him the best. And that position has now been posted, and anybody who's interested in city planner position is welcome to apply, and it's on our website, or you can drop by City Hall. A reminder, if you see something, say something by calling 911 for emergencies or dispatch for non-emergencies. This is the only way our law enforcement emergency services can address any concerns or issues. And our next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, July 17th at 7 p.m. We encourage anyone and everyone that would like to attend the council meeting to either be there in person or attend online. And you can contact the CRC website for any questions on that. That's all I have. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you so much, Nathan. Appreciate the updates. Okay, we will wrap it up with South County. Doug Olson.
Well, good morning, Commissioner. Big week here in Pacific City. This is Dory Days weekend coming up, something that's been going on now for 64 consecutive years. And as a result of that, Dory Days is now among the Oregon Heritage Tradition events. And so out of the hundreds and hundreds of parades and festivals and so on, there are only about 24 that are in that group, including now Dory Days. So we joined some pretty good company along with the Portland Rose Festival, the Oregon State Fair, the Pendleton Roundup, and some of the signature events across Oregon. So what happens is we have a band at the Kiowanda Community Center on Friday night, Countryfied, which is a band out of Central Oregon. They play all over Oregon, Washington, Idaho, just an excellent band. We've got a large number of sponsors for Dory Days this year. There'll be our annual artisan fair, which is vendors that present all kinds of crafty stuff and sell it, and some of them have been coming to this event for 20 plus years. We'll have dory boats on display throughout the area. Saturday we have a pancake breakfast. I think it starts at 7 to 11 at the Kiowanda Community Center, followed by a fish fry at noon that goes until 6. And then the big event is the parade at 11. This year we have some live music, and things are all coming together, and so we're finally back to normal. Last year was a bit abbreviated following some almost suspensions of COVID, like a lot of organizations, but I think we're back in full swing, and we expect several thousand people in town, and as the sheriff indicated, the sheriff's office has always been very helpful in working with traffic and people and crowd control and all of that. So this is a big deal, and we're all set, and so we'll invite all of you and anyone listening to come to Pacific City this weekend. So with that, Commissioner, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Doug. All right, well, with that, I would like to thank KTIL for broadcasting, everyone for attending, and we will adjourn this meeting at 9:02 a.m. Everyone have a fabulous day.